Hello everybody and welcome back to The Lost Planeswalker. You're here with me, Jesse, The Lost Planeswalker, and today I'm going to cover the second story arc for Duskmourn. I know I'm a couple days late to this, so if you've already checked it out, very cool, but if you're new and you watched my first video and you thought that was cool and you like the summary of the story that takes a couple minutes versus the half an hour or more that it normally takes, I really appreciate it. Like I mentioned in the first video, this is all brand new to me, so if you have any comments of how I can make this better, please let me know. But for right now, this is what I thought worked best. So this next story summary was actually performed by another Lost Planeswalker, Erica. Thank you so much for your help. I've been trying to put out as many videos, and she offered to help me out, and I really appreciate it, so thank you. So let's dive right in to Episode 2, Don't Split the Party. The rescue party consisted of Kaito in the lead, followed by the Wanderer. Zamone was next, while Tyvar and Nico brought up the rear. They all moved cautiously through the dirty room, all of them searching for a sign of Nashi or whatever might jump out at them all. Kaito noticed that the door was gone, causing everyone to move more carefully, anticipating dangerous predators to come. The corridor widened with more hallways and openings now in view. Nico reminded the group that the most dangerous labyrinths can rearrange themselves if left to their own devices. So they decided to stay close together and always be in sight of one another. Kaito's training allowed him to recognize whether the room's air was recently disturbed. He was unable to determine if Nashi had been there, but he was certain that someone was there. The Wanderer suggested that it might be unwise to try to follow the previous visitor. Nico reminded the group that they should conduct their search by continuing to move to the right until they returned to where they began, so they never were lost and didn't miss anything while collecting data for the research team. Kaito still felt the presence of an enemy, so they decided to move through a jumble of connecting rooms that made no sense till they came to a vast space that contained an abandoned fun fair where nothing moved but the wind. Kaito said, "We found an exit," but they soon realized that the fun fair was just another part of the house. They were confused about the breeze because they were indoors. There should be no breeze. They decided to go back and begin to retrace their steps, noticing along the way the dark and dangerous features of the house. Then they found themselves in a space they hadn't seen before. Then they realized the house was unpredictable and seemed to be changing. They decided to return to Ravnica to see if they could find the door and reopen it. They moved in that direction and heard a scream in the distance to the left. A voice was screaming for help. Tyvar ran towards the voice, and Simone ran after him and tried to coax him back, telling him that she thinks the house is playing tricks, trying to separate them. The others also began to realize that the traps were being set as the doorways moved. They decided to go after the others, but when Kaito approached the doorway, the floor changed and he fell into the blackness. The group was being split up, but Tyvar and Simone found themselves in a library and began to figure out how quantum superposition was making the changes to the room when no one was looking. Tyvar broke down a wall and discovered staircases. Simone unspooled a spindle of energy through her fingers, giving one end to Tyvar and keeping the other to maintain the connection while he explored beyond the stairs, and she looked for patterns in the bookshelves. There were more haunted and frightening pictures, a gallery of nightmares, till he saw a doorway up ahead. Yet when he reached for it and stepped through, he found himself back at the library. He found Simone, and they both realized they were in danger. Nico and the Wanderer continued to backtrack through unfamiliar, ever-changing rooms. It became very hot, and they saw flooded, rotting rooms outside the glass walls, and they both agreed that the place was awful. They discussed Nashi, the one they came to find, and the Wanderer shared that Nashi's mother was a dear friend who died in the invasion. She felt a debt of gratitude to the people of Kamigawa, but the Wanderer felt responsible for her friend's death. Then they found a door, and Nico pulled it open, releasing a burst of freezing air. They walked through, and the door sealed shut behind them. They were in a meat locker. They knew all they could do was to make it back to Ravnica and get help from their companions. There were no walls, just hanging meat. Then they were yanked by a narrow-faced man behind a wall of solid muscle. The man put his hands up and pulled a sheet of paper from a pocket, handing it to them. It said, "Be quiet," in several scripts. The strangers tried to hit any oncoming beasts with a slingshot and a ball of bloody hair. The menacing figure was caught in a bear trap, screaming. Nico and the Wanderer followed the stranger through a door to a warmer space. He explained that those found in the flooded pits were only used to hearing sounds through the water. You don't want to fight them head on. The stranger seemed to be dressed in wallpaper. His name was Winter, and he lived there most of his life. He said, "There isn't anything else. The house is the world, and the world is the house. And once it has a hold of you, there's nowhere to go. You'll see that soon if you don't already. You belong to Duskmourn now." And that's it for our summary of Chapter 2, Don't Split the Party. I just want to say thank you again, Erica the Planeswalker. I really appreciate your help in making this video. And if you enjoyed this, please leave a comment down below thanking Erica for her help. I'll be continuing to finish this series throughout this set, and if people enjoy it, or, you know, I've actually been enjoying it a lot, maybe I'll continue to do this as new sets release. But with that, I would just like to say thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below, you know, did you figure anything out that you thought would be helpful in this video? Or, you know, was there some other comment you wanted to leave, you know, thanking Erica maybe? You know, whatever you would leave a comment down below would really help me out. In addition, if you would please leave a like, share this video with a friend, and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now today's Scryfall card of the day is Coiling Oracle. Snaking remnants of nature directed by a body of thought and progress. The oracles embody all that is Simic. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you later, Planeswalkers.